Hey, Bob and Manny here with special guest. Welcome to List Play, where today we're going to be doing an our list talking about the best video game soundtracks of all time.
Now, we have here Maestro Oak, or Eric, my brother, and he is our resident composer, so we figured who better to help us make a list about music.
Yep, I know lots of music and like music a lot.
No, what's the funniest about him is we call him the human jukebox.
Yep.
If you just ask him any song, he'll sing it.
And in the right key, too.
Original Super Mario Brothers, go!
Okay.
Think of another one, Bob.
Super Mario Brothers 3. You know that one?
I
think that's actually correct.
He has perfect pitch also, so it's all in the right key. So great. So today I'm really excited we get to talk about a bunch of music. Now we need to put some disclaimers on this list because these are only games that we've played and we're sort of from a certain generation, so we love a certain kind of game. Blah, 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 blah. We're not experts on the topic, but also there was lots of fighting going over what went on this list. We were like, at dinner trying to hash out this list. So lots of things are discluded that we wish were included. The list order was a toss-up. They're all so great. We're musicians. We love it.
Also,
we're excited.
Another thing we're excluding is games that are completely licensed music. So that means like GTA, like Let's Dance, DDR.
Yeah.
Things that are just...
original soundtracks.
Yeah, we're looking for original game soundtracks here.
And we're a little biased. We sort of like the full orchestration is one of our favorites, and the techno music too, and that sort of stuff. So there's lots of stuff. Oh, let's have fun. Let's jump right in there to number 10.
Yep, that brings us to number 10 on the list. This is one of my current favorite games that I'm still playing. What? You okay?
Yeah.
I'm a little hyper.
Number 10 on the list is Adventures of Pip. Now, if any of you are fans of my YouTube channel, you know that I'm currently playing this game, so obviously this is coming from my experience, but it has a really epic, possibly disproportionately epic to what the game actually is, but extremely epic soundtrack. And right now we're just going to play you the opening clip. This is the main theme that plays like when you launch the game. So here we go. Here's a little snippet. So if you're unfamiliar, here it is.
It's muted, so we can't hear it. That's not going to probably not.
There you go. We talked over the whole thing, and we couldn't hear most of it. But there you go. Adventures of Pip is number 10 on the list.
It's surprisingly epic for a indie game, I think. Like, Bob was like, this has to be on the list, this has to be on the list. And I was like,
Bob was very...
okay, Bob,
It has to be on the list.
Okay.
All right.
And then he played it for us earlier, and I was all, that has to be on the list.
And the whole game is obviously not that epic. There are different tones of music. There's sad stuff, and there's tension and everything. But it's all that sort of fully orchestrated sound, and it's all just great. It's like that. It's good to listen to when you're playing the game. You like bob along, or it makes you feel kind of tense. It's a good little game. It can be frustrating as a platformer with some of the mechanics, but it's a good game for an indie game, and the soundtrack makes it fantastic. So that was the one that I would not give up on. I was a little bummed out. It was pushed all the way down to number 10. Because indie games always get a bum rap because no one knows what they are, or if no one's heard the music. But once everyone here heard it, it was like, oh, yeah, that should be on the list, probably. That's pretty good.
But don't worry, there are more indie games on our list.
There are several.
Eric and I both rep the indie games.
I know none of them. I know big name games.
Nintendo.
That makes me a worse human being.
Nintendo. I just called you Nintendo.
Nintendo.
I was going to say, Mandy is a huge Nintendo fan, so that's where a lot of her game experience lies, but Nintendo also likes other games.
I do. Okay, I think we should move on.
All right.
To number 9.
Number 9 on the list is Donkey Kong Country 2, a game I have not actually played, I don't think, myself.
Weren't
ever.
you playing this?
We played Donkey Kong Country 1 when we were playing it the other week.
This one's harder.
Here is a little snippet from the Sticker Brush Symphony in Donkey Kong Country's 2 original soundtrack. Alright, that's a really dissatisfying place to stop, but that's as much we can play without having to worry about Nintendo clamping down the jaws of copyright law upon us. But yeah, so Donkey Kong Country 2. Eric, how is that game?
That game is hard. It's great, but hard.
Why is it so hard?
Because it's got that NES difficulty to it. It's if you screw up, you get sent back 5 levels, and every level is incredibly hard. And ironically enough, that's the song that plays at the hardest levels. They're called the Bramble levels, where everything is surrounded by a case of thorns, and if you hit any of them, you're just... Jeez.
NPD.
Yeah,
so you probably hear that a lot, right? Because you have to play it a lot to win.
And I think they made it so calming on purpose. It's like the most chill...
Like, it's okay.
Yeah,
they foresaw the rage.
There's no reason to be mad.
And as far as the music, I think that's one of the only ones, if not one of the few on our list, that is 16-bit / 8-bit. That sort of.
It's
the only one that's
music.
Yeah.
So
that's 2D. Well, no, that's wrong.
No, some of them are.
That is completely wrong.
That other one
ignore me.
But yeah, so there is a lot of probably 8-bit and 16-bit music that deserves to be on this list, but that one is one of the best. At least it's one of the best that we know.
Yeah.
Yep. But that brings us along to number...
Can I say the next one? You're saying them all.
I'm just jumping in. You do it. Go
ahead.
Do it.
Number 8 is Star Fox. Specifically, the Star Fox Assault, which is the original Star Fox music, except reorchestrated for a whole orchestra.
Yeah, an actual live orchestra, too, I believe.
That's pretty cool. Here's a clip. Okay, and we had talked about this one, and I have to honestly say, that was cooler, well, not cooler than advertised, but that's cooler than I believed it would be. Mm-hmm. Eric was trying to sell us really hard on this one, because both Manny and I were like, yeah, we know Star Fox 64 mainly, and the music's pretty good, but it's not that great, it's not outstanding, that's not why I remember the game, but that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Well, and that game sucks balls, right?
No, Adventures is the
Star Fox Adventures is the one that sucks.
The one. Okay, yep. I was thinking the thing that John Tron did.
Yeah.
You all know what I'm talking about.
Even though I'm sorry to disagree with John Tron, but then again, that one's kind of from my childhood, so I have nostalgia battles from it. So I'm not allowed.
Throw down. He's gone. You can't disagree
John
with him.
John Tron is king of the internet or something. I don't know what he does. I don't know what he does.
They met him, so they know.
Yeah.
Sort of. He wouldn't remember.
It's all good. But yeah, so I haven't actually played that game either. But
it's like a third-person shooter. It's got the R-Wing and the Landmaster in it. You sort of like jump into them and take other parts of the mission with it. Or you're just on foot shooting things on foot. It's went back to shooter instead of whatever platformer stuff happened in Adventures.
Talk louder.
So, well, I'm not talking as long because I'm in the middle. But,
what were you talking about?
I was talking about Star Fox Assault. So, I think the original soundtrack had a lot of interesting meter things, a lot of interesting pitch things, and this brings out the orchestral color in it and really brings it to the forefront because it is a live orchestra. And so I just think it's a great soundtrack, and I think this is really kind of what made that game.
The music always does. I mean, or lack thereof music. I also would like to stress in times where there is no music in movies or video games or whatever, it also is a big effect, mostly because of the music that is there. Most of the time you feel empty, or like Five Nights doesn't have music, right?
Yeah.
It feels really scary because there's nothing supporting you there. Things like that. But
Yep.
soundtracks are an integral part of gaming. I feel
Agreed.
like. Sorry.
Agreed.
And got on my soapbox there.
Eric, do you want to do the next one?
Sure.
Because I forget even what number we're on. That brings
Seven.
We're on 7.
number 7? Didn't we just do number 7?
No,
we
that
did
was 8.
Oh. Then that brings us to number 7.
Number 7 is... Oh, God. Robot Roller Derby Disco Dodgeball.
You can
You
read it.
did
It's
this
right
on
there.
purpose,
Yeah.
didn't you?
Yeah.
So you didn't have to read
I never
it.
saw
so
that
that you didn't have to read it.
I never say this one right, but this is another one of my suggestions.
Another indie game.
It's an indie game, and this one is awesome. Also, it's techno. Here you go.
Shall I can't hear it over here?
Well, I don't think they have us on camera. They just have
Okay.
So no one can see.
Darn it! I was dancing for the camera.
Alright, so there you go. Not only were you dancing for yourself, you were talking over the music the whole time. But Robot Roller Derby Disco Dodgeball. I think that's it.
Something
It's a
like
great
that.
indie game. It's fast paced. It's just like action dodgeball basically, and you play and it's a shooter. But the music is all like that. The music is all techno. It's different genres of electronic stuff. There's some very housey stuff. There's some slower stuff. It's just really good. It's really satisfying. And when you're playing a game with like lots of bright flashing lights and you're a robot playing dodgeball, how much more appropriate could the music be, really?
Well, and it really just makes the game, like, the game wouldn't be that fun without this music.
Yeah, it does.
And it's really, really hard to resist, as you all just saw when you listen to it. It's like, you have to dance to it. You have to. This is what dance clubs should be playing. I'm just saying.
Playing the soundtrack to Robot
Yeah.
Roller Derby.
Yeah, why
Disco
not?
Dodgeball.
Why not? We can bring it.
Yep. I'll spin it.
Wicka
Spin it.
wicka.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's exactly what happened.
But yeah, that game. You're right. That game is fun largely because of the music. Because the game itself it's an interesting. The dodgeball mechanic where you have to pick up the ball and everything. It's a little bit of a twist, but it's really just sort of a first-person shooter. But the music makes it like a happy, fun time first-person shooter instead of just another one. So yeah, great game. I played that on stream before actually. So
You have.
Yep.
obviously I like that game. But that brings us along to the next one. Number 7.
6.
Number 6. I knew that. I can count backwards. Who wants to say number 6? Well, I struggle to do the right thing on the computer. There we go.
You're saying 6.
Number 6 is The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess.
No, it was really hard for us to decide which Zelda to pick, but Eric told us we had to do Twilight Princess. Tell us about why we had to do it.
Because it's a full orchestral soundtrack. And this is basically just made Zelda what I wanted it to be. It basically just made it the huge epic adventure and beautiful landscapes and beautiful music that I wanted it to be. And this is from the field theme. So
The field theme.
yeah.
Okay.
Is it playing? Oh, yes it is.
Sadly, I have to stop it right there. Probably all of us would like to keep listening to that. But yeah, I mean, Zelda has some of the more iconic tunes in video gaming. I mean,
Yep.
Zelda, Ocarina of Time, the whole game, some of us spent the entire time, like, learning the songs on the Ocarina just for fun to play them. And
Eric still plays them on the piano sometimes.
Sometimes.
Just when he sees a piano.
Zelda is just an iconic franchise. It's hard to get away from that. But the music is really good in that game specifically because of what you were saying, because it's well done. And
And
it's,
that song specifically, I loved so much that I actually arranged it for middle school band. And I did it. Yeah.
Were you in middle school band? Or
Yes,
were you
I
just
was in middle school. No, I was just like, hey, sure,
Hey,
you
little
want to
kids.
take it? Yeah. You guys want to play some sheet music? You guys want to play some music?
I got a Zelda arrangement I did.
Uh,
It's in my van in the back. Is it like that?
exactly.
That's not a
Exactly.
good.
That's exactly how
Don't do that to the
composers
kids.
are.
That's
Yeah.
not good for kids. But that is funny. You liked it so much, you just decided you're like,
Yeah.
someone will want to play this probably.
Well, we
Did
actually
you
did
play
play
it?
it in band class.
That's pretty cool.
Like
So-
on a concert or just?
No, not It was just a day out of class.
Oh, okay.
Because I made it in Finale Notepad, which
Nice.
does not make
it doesn't do the
It
full
doesn't
score,
do-
does it?
well, it does the full score. It doesn't do the individual parts.
Oh,
so I had
okay.
to print out a copy of the score, cut it apart, and glue them all on the same sheet. And then
Disturbing.
Oh,
Mom
gosh.
photocopied those, and that's how the parts looked.
Good God.
It was,
So they were wiggly and black photocopy
black.
wax. I
So
bet
they were
everyone
very
got,
readable.
I bet everyone got that and was like, what's wrong with this music?
But I didn't care because I was in like 8th grade, 7th or 8th. One of those two. Doesn't matter.
Well, that brings us right along to number 5. Is it number 5?
Yes.
I did it!
So
I did.
I remembered.
something Spanish.
We did it.
Number 5 on our list of the top 10. I hit the button too
is
soon.
Banjo Kazooie.
God darn it. Didn't
The
mean to hit the
what?
button, but it's Banjo Kazooie. Because, duh. Because this game is classic in a lot of ways, but here we go. There we go. That's a good place to stop. For once, we got a satisfying place
What
to
a
stop in the
cadence.
music.
Yeah.
Music terms.
All
To
right.
be fair, it was a half cadence.
Yeah, well, whatever. It's still
sad
relatively
about it.
satisfying compared
Okay.
to the phrase. But that's fine. But yeah, I mean,
It's pretty cool and folky.
Yeah.
Banjo Kazooie is very stylistic. I mean,
Yeah.
that's one of the things it's known for. The game is ridiculous. The villains are ridiculous. It
It's
has
just anything with eyes on it.
yeah, and it doesn't take itself too seriously, like the giant poop and all this stuff. Like,
Oh, that was Conquer.
is that Conquer?
That was
Oh,
Conquer.
gosh, whatever.
Do the laugh. Do the laugh.
The laugh?
Yeah.
The
The
what
witch.
laugh?
The witch
That's
laugh.
Oh, that. Oh, her speech, that.
If you don't know that game, you're really confused right now.
Yes.
But that's actually a pretty good recreation of the way that she does
The sound
speaking.
effects in that game are awesome as well. In addition to
I mean,
the
that
music.
whole game and in general is like one of the iconic 3D platformers of the era. It was Rare at its best, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Rare really is too bad about them.
Well,
Everything that
look
has
forward to Platonic.
Yeah, we'll see. But yeah, I mean, great game, and the music in it fits the game well, I think, is what does it for
Yeah.
that soundtrack, right?
And we had to include something by Grant Kirkhope because he's just solidly always on his game. Basically anything Rare you can think of from the N64.
And by rare, we don't mean it's unusual.
Yeah, we mean the company Rareware. Grant probably composed the music for it. So, and he himself played that song on the ukulele and kazoo, promoting Project Ukulele, which is what he's now doing, which is with Platonic. So,
What? How do you know that?
you don't know
He's a
about
fan.
ukulele?
No?
We gotta
Okay.
show you ukulele.
Okay.
We'll get to that later.
That was like. Okay, we'll talk about that later.
But that brings us right along to the next one on the list. Number 4.
Oh, is it me?
Well, yeah.
Super Mario!
64 is important.
64.
This is your game, I assume you were
It's
going to say.
me, Mario!
Okay,
No,
Charles
okay,
Martinet.
so this one goes with me to my grave on every list we do about video games that's good ever because I love it and it's my favorite.
It's your all-time favorite anything.
And I would have murdered people if they touched this on the list. So
Yeah, this was, yeah.
Good thing it actually has good music.
Here's what she was fighting for.
I get a little nervous when I hear this.
Yeah, so obviously, if you know anything about that game, that is the Fly Hat music.
Yeah.
Right, I get nervous because I'm afraid I'm about to fall.
As you're trying to land on the goddamn 4 pillars.
Land in the sand all the time.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean that's one of those games. It's just hard to argue with.
Okay, so it was a really big toss-up whether we wanted this one or Super Mario Brothers on it, and I picked this one just because the music is a little like it's more about the themes in the original ones, but this one is more depth to the music.
Yeah, it's more polished. It's more
Right.
compositionally complex, partially because of technology limitations.
Right.
The original could only have like 3 or 4 tracks, I think.
Something like that.
Anything you
Pretty
hear
low
that's
number.
NES, yeah. They'll start kicking out tunes of the track if you have too many sound effects, things like that.
But I think it's amazing and it's my favorite game ever and I like to play it all the time.
It's a good game. It's definitely.
It is.
Inarguably one of the best games of all time, especially for our generation. But just all in all, great game. The music goes right along with that as being great, and that brings us right along to the next one on the list, number 3.
3.
This one's mine. Number 3 on the list is Halo.
Woo!
Yay!
People were asking for this in chat earlier.
Yeah.
They were all Halo, Halo,
As soon
Halo,
as,
Halo.
as soon as we said music, I saw Halo in chat. I like the music from the original Halo, but I was remembering incorrectly, and Eric fixed this. This is one of the most iconic songs probably from the entire franchise. It's actually from Halo 3, this one is, but I'm sure you'll recognize it.
That was me having a gun. I don't know. That's
Was
what
that a
I-
gun sound?
I wasn't.
What I did.
I thought it was like a ratchet, like the.
Okay, but yeah, I mean,
Who
Halo,
has guns?
for people who play the modern consoles and who are into the contemporary shooter stuff, Halo is one of the biggest shooter franchises. It's not the biggest necessarily anymore, but it's huge, and the music from it is fantastic. There's lots of choral stuff that's really well done. There's lots of stuff like that that's intense and very, I don't know, orchestral. I don't know the words, but, you know,
Operatic.
it's dramatic
Cinematic.
and it's big. Yeah, cinematic is a good word for it. And that one is iconic. I mean, lots of people know that song, even if they've never played a Halo game, just because it's such a good, like, action-adventure song.
I know that song
Well, and
because
there's, like you said, there's lots of variety. Like, I'm disappointed you did this one because the other one you were playing was, like you said, chorus stuff, and I thought it was pretty cool and eerie and set the mood. And that range is pretty hard to get in a video game.
Yeah, and that's one of the things, I don't know about the newer Halo games because I have not played them all extensively, but that's one of the things that Bungie/Microsoft does with Halo. The music is always interesting and generally appropriate for what you're doing. It's not just some generic action music that goes on. Sometimes it is, but generally they do a good job of that. So, good music. Somebody likes COD Advanced Warfare music.
I didn't even know it had worthwhile.
Didn't know there
music.
was music in that game. Isn't it just gun sounds and 13-year-olds
Yeah.
swearing at you?
Yeah,
That's
it's a
all
good
I ever
soundtrack.
hear.
But that brings us right along to number 2 on the list. This one is near and dear to Eric's heart. Number 2.
Yes, very much so.
It's not going to work.
Come on.
There you go.
There we go. It's Fez.
Couldn't
People-
find one with the title on it. I apologize. It's called Fez.
And this is a rare game, right?
What?
It's not really popular.
Well, it's
Rare
popular
as in
among. Yeah, I was about to say it's not rareware.
the other
but,
word, the normal word.
Yeah, this game was developed by Polytron Corporation, which was led by Phil Fish, which you should hate. Because everybody hates him. It's ubiquitous to hate him.
I hate that guy.
Yeah,
Yay!
that sucks.
Yeah.
Yay, acceptance.
But anyway, but the game he made is great. I love the game. This is probably actually one of my favorite games, and it's all partially because of the focus on aesthetics, including art style and music. And this music soundtrack might actually be my favorite.
Yeah, we have
tied
to
with
talk him
whoever's
down.
number one. You will see who's number one next.
But since you probably don't know this game, because none of us except Eric have played it, and it is a relatively popular indie game, but not that popular because it's still an indie game. Here is a taste of the soundtrack. Say that's 20 seconds.
Yeah, that's about.
But yeah, so it's all kind of like that then? I don't even know what the rest of the soundtrack is like.
It's kind of like, well, at times it sounds like Philip Glass to me. At times it sounds actually sort of orchestral, but in a chiptune way. It's kind of strange. But this soundtrack is composed by Destructoid, I think. No, that's not his name. What is his name? Disaster Piece. That's what his name is called. Yeah, this soundtrack I liked enough that I downloaded it myself, and you all should as well, and also play the game because not many people have played it.
Yeah, I kind of want to try the game now. You have been sold on the game.
Yeah,
it should be pretty cool.
You should all try it too.
Yes, everybody should try it because even though the developer sucks, it's a great game.
What a sales pitch, man. But that brings us right along to number one.
I'm so excited. Number one.
Number one, you'll never guess who picked the number one game on the list.
Okay. I was making the list, so.
Play it first.
Oh, right.
Right.
Hang on, that's right. We're going to reveal the number one game on the list by playing it, and you'll probably recognize it because it's pretty awesome. It sounds a lot like Adventures of Pip. But here we go. Number one on the list. All right. There you go. So if you didn't know...
You guys know what it is?
Well, yeah, they
it's on the screen.
Aww.
It's on the screen.
They know what it is.
Dancing again.
You're just dancing for yourself anyway. It's not like you want them to see. It's Super Mario Galaxy. Yeah. So
way to bring down the room now.
This is your game. You talked about this.
Okay. Well, this is a good game in general. It was on my favorite console games list also, so I'm a little biased. I guess my music taste and my game taste are not all that divorced. But
it's because good games have good music, and good music makes a good game.
Correct. But so this game has a full score. It's much better than a lot of the other ones. I don't know what to say. The extra big star music is awesome too. Yeah. It's really epic, and you feel like you're like in space and doing stuff.
It is very good space music. That's the thing in the game is you travel around space a lot, and it feels like you're the most epic space adventurer of all time.
How does it sound like space? How does one sound like space but excited?
What I appreciate about this that creates that is that it does do orchestral, but it is not solely orchestral. It also brings in synth sounds and is kind of masterful in mixing the two.
So synthesizers is space.
Synthesizers is space. So say the 70s.
That's what we learned from this. Synthesizers is space. Oh my
I didn't know we could rip off movies.
But there you go. There are the top 10 video game soundtracks
as told by us
that
and
we have
our
chosen.
favorite composer of all time, Mr. Eric. Woo! Thank you for the list of music.
Yeah.
Thank you for inviting me.
No problem. Thanks for coming and being our first special guest. Now, as Mr. Maestro Oak over here is wearing, we do have List Play t-shirts available and more fun things that the logo is on in Bob's Spreadshirt.
They can print that logo on lots of stuff.
Yeah!
Including t-shirts. So please go and check out the link in the description below us. There's a link called My Scrum Swag Shop where you can buy this shirt, but more importantly, this shirt, plus lots of other stuff. That is the place where you buy official Let's Play merchandise. And that is going to be it for this episode. Thank you very much, Eric, for coming. Like
Thank
Mandy
you.
said, he is at Maestro Oak on Twitter, Maestro Oak on SoundCloud, Maestro Oak on Twitch. Maestro Oak is his username,
Everywhere.
and he streams and he composes music. So please check out his stuff. Follow him.
If you need him to compose anything, let him know.
Yep.
He does all sorts of styles.
Composer for hire. We don't need that much music, so there's not a lot of work from us. So if you got anything, you can probably do it. But yeah, that's going to be it, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. And as always, we'll list you later.